When we speak about seeing into the spirit, there's a spiritual part of everything. Do you believe that? There's a spiritual part to him. There's a spiritual part to me. There's a spiritual part to each and every one of you sitting down here. Now, the spiritual things are actually the invincible things, the hidden things, the things that cannot be tested in the lab. Can your emotion be tested in the lab? Can you extract your emotions into a tube to test it on the earth here? But you know it exists. Can someone extract a thought and test it in a lab? The spiritual things are the invincible things. The things that are just energy and light or darkness. That energy cannot be tested with human tools, but they exist. So everyone has that spiritual energy with him, within which the invincible things of what makes him to be exist. Your thought, your personality, your ambitions, your visions, your dreams, all those exist within a vortex. So when we speak about seeing into the spiritual things, you must understand that this spiritual world is graded in stratas. There is the lower spiritual world and the higher spiritual world. The spiritual world is not measured in distance. It is measured by translation. So as we are speaking here, the spiritual world is with us. You don't travel to the spiritual world as it is known on earth. Like you enter your car now, you translate into the spiritual world. So you can be here, and as you move like this, you're already in the spiritual world. You can be looking at this thing now, and immediately your eyes open, you're already in the spiritual world. So you don't journey there. It's not measured with the tools or the understanding of what speed is in time. The spiritual world overlaps the physical world. Because without that spiritual covering, the physical dimension cannot exist. That is why I always teach my students. I say, this world is a realm of its own. This world is the realm of the flesh. Are we still together? Whenever you wake up, you've logged back into this world. Because whatever you see in this world is an expression of the reality of an invincible person within a body. This world does not exist, and it also exists. The moment you go to sleep, this world stops existing. We all know Facebook exists. You have a Facebook account. But the moment you log out, even though Facebook exists, it stops existing. So your Facebook account is your body with which you used to manifest in the world of Facebook. Yes. That's what this world is. This world is like an account you log into. Just as you take a picture from this physical world and put into Facebook. And let's imagine you can take something from the invisible world and manifest it in this realm. But can I tell you something? It is only the people of your race that can understand when the things of that realm is manifested. The Bible says the light shines in darkness and darkness cannot comprehend. It's a word for intelligence. It cannot fathom it. It cannot overpower it. When you take a picture from Earth and you put it on Facebook, the machine that is Facebook, the algorithm, the AI of Facebook, the mechanical part of Facebook cannot interpret that thing that you have as its reality on Earth. It's only human beings that will look at that thing and okay, this person has taken a picture in his house. I know you don't understand what I'm saying. Facebook exists in a world. Human beings have a body there or a Facebook account and they manifest in that world of Facebook or YouTube. And they are represented there as an account on Facebook. Prophet Joel is represented as a page on Facebook. A lot of times, what manifests from Prophet Joel page is not the person called Prophet Joel. It's an admin. But because there is a body there or an account that is called Prophet Joel, anyone who sees it will think this is Prophet Joel doing this thing. Sometimes when you manifest, it's not you, it's God. See, I'm stepping to the realm where English language will fail me now. Even this concept I'm bringing to you is a very downgraded version. of the reality of what we're talking about. So there's the lower spiritual world and the higher spiritual world. When we begin to talk about seeing in the spirit, you must understand that there's a sight in the spirit that covers the things of men. There's another sight in the spirit that covers the heart of men. And there's another sight in the spirit that covers the things of the spirit. And then lastly, there's a sight in the spirit that covers the things of God. So this sight is graded in stratas. When we come into the lower spiritual world, even demons can reveal secrets. And there's a way these demons operate. They operate with spirits, or these mages of these demons operate. They operate with spirits that are called familiars. These are spirits of records. A familiar spirit can be attached to a person, even though the person is of light. What does a familiar spirit do? He keeps the record of your activities. He knows the names you call every day. He knows virtually everything about you. When people read people's future by the aid of familiar spirits of divination, what they are doing is that they are tapping into the record that these familiar spirits already have in their possession about the individuals that come to visit them. And by those records, this familiar spirit can tell you true things about your life. But when a familiar spirit, through the aid of his messenger, gives you a prophecy, what happens is that there is a law that the average human being is not aware of that exists in the spiritual world. And that law is this. Whenever you visit a spirit and you give the spirit permission to x-ray your life, you've come under the influence of that spirit, whether you know it or not. Can I prophesy? Prophesy. If that person was prophesying by a familiar spirit, you've given them access already, because your word is powerful. When Esau wanted to sell his birthright, he thought that what he said was just normal words. What is a birthright to me? Forget about it. He didn't know that he had already ceded that which was his to his brother. So when you come under the influence of this spirit in this lower spiritual world, what happens is that if he tells you that on Tuesday you are going to meet John, what will happen is that familiar spirits are going to partner with manipulating spirits. Now, manipulating spirits are the spirits that plot the course of a man's life to fulfill a negative destiny. Now, if you say you are going to meet a Titus on Tuesday at the filling station, what will happen is that manipulating spirit will guide you to the filling station. And then, since manipulating spirits have many titles under their payroll or under the scope of their influence, they would also manipulate a Titus to the filling station that day. The networking that happens in the spirit is terrible. So someone will see prophecy being manifested. He does not know he's under manipulation. I've always told you that in the scale of preference that Satan has, deception is stronger than affliction. This is why a false prophet can also heal your sickness, because he will take your affliction and then give you deception. Affliction will touch your body. Deception will touch your soul. So in the lower spiritual world, any higher being can actually bring certain levels of hidden things about people, light. But when we begin to transcend into the higher spiritual world, the measure of what you can see is determined by the throne of the spirit that you are seeing through. The spirit has to have a throne, and it is from the throne of that spirit you are able to see the things that are within the scope of the dominion of the spirit that is enabling you to see. If a spirit has a throne, what you must understand is that that spirit has a scope of influence or a domain around his throne. And if that spirit takes you into the spirit, you will only be able to journey within the realms of his domain. When Satan appeared to Yeshua, he showed him the kingdoms of this world. But he didn't show Yeshua the kingdom of heaven, because his throne is not exalted above the throne of God. So what happened was that he showed Yeshua his dominion. If the spirit you contacted was a water spirit, and you are taken into the spirit by that water spirit, the water spirit will show you the dominions of the marine kingdom. And then he will show you the dominions of the kingdoms under him. Spirits have hierarchy. A stronger spirit can displace a lesser spirit. Number two, spirits are possessive. Are we together? This is why one herbalist can defeat another one. Because these spirits are actually arrogant spirits. And they are very possessive. If you encroach their territory without offering certain oblations, it can actually begin a war. And also in the spirit, there's partnership. Demons can partner. Demons are partnering. Children of God are fighting each other. Demons can partner to keep someone in captivity. A weak spirit will go and beg 7 stronger spirits. And you will say, I prefer to live in the boys' quarter than to lose this person. Hey, if you know the partnership that is ongoing just to bring you down, you will pray. You will pray. If they get you, they don't want to let you go. So they can see the ownership of a life to stronger demons that will oppress them in that body, that will dominate them in that body, just so that they will not allow that body go. There's partnership in the spirit. Are we together? So there's the lower spiritual world and the higher spiritual world. The waters beneath and the waters above.